Welcome to my channel. I'm Dani Marie AUC. Sometimes I pretend I can see. Let's talk about that. Sometimes I pretend I can see. That's not sensationalist, it's not clickbait, it's not a lie. Sometimes I pretend I can see. Being legally blind or blind is really hard work. So every day there are a million little things that I have to work harder to do than people who are sighted. All throughout the day, if I want to read something that's too small, I have to pull out my phone. I have to use my camera, or at the very least, I have to turn on the flashlight on my phone because sometimes the light is enough to help, but not always. Take something as simple as changing the channel on your TV. So I have to either pull out my phone, use my camera, zoom in all the way to read the menus, to read what's on this particular channel, or to just see what the number of the channel is. And sometimes the camera, depending on where I'm sitting, is still not enough to let me read all the finer print. Or I have to get up and walk toward the TV, which isn't a problem always, but sometimes the TV's mounted high up on a wall or above a fireplace, or sometimes there are objects in the way, or there are other people trying to watch the TV. I have to take extra things with me when I go places, especially if I'm going alone. One, I have to take my white cane, and the cane is super important if I'm alone, so I don't miss a curb, twist my ankle, or miss a set of stairs, or I'm standing there slower than everyone else, feeling around with my foot, trying to figure out where that first step is or where the last step is, because I've definitely missed those and sprained an ankle before. That was a very fun experience. But generally I have to carry that with me. But other than that, if I am going with someone, I still have to carry my monocular with me. And the monocular is important if I want to see things like menu boards, signs, if I'm crossing the street and I want to see if a light is red or green. I can't always see that. If I'm looking for someone in a crowd, or generally if I want to experience the world in a way similar to those around me. So if I'm going to events, concerts, or if I'm out at a venue where there are food trucks and things like that, I generally have to have a monocular to be able to read anything. So life as a blind or visually impaired person is logistically complicated. If I want to go somewhere next week, there are 10 different steps that I have to think about. So who's going to take me? How am I going to get there? Will I be on time? Will I have to go somewhere else along with the one place I want to go? Will there be cab or ride share? Will I be able to afford the cab or ride share? What if my ride falls through? What's my backup ride? I have absolutely been forgotten before, and it's not very fun, but that is a part of the life that those of us who can't drive live. So I've said all this basically to make the point that being legally blind or being blind is challenging. It's hard. And that's not me complaining, it's the truth. Things are logistically harder for those of us who are blind or legally blind. There are extra things we have to think about throughout the day. There are extra situations that we have to prepare for, and it's challenging. So you ask, Danielle, if you need all these things, how do you pretend to see? And there are many answers to that question. So I'll take the first example, watching TV. Most of the time, unless I'm in my room where I can sit very close to my TV, I'm not actually watching a TV, I'm listening to it. But I still find myself looking in the direction of the TV, and then when I realize what I'm doing, I have a chuckle at myself because it's pretty funny. The little things that we do to blend in or to do just because it's normal are hilarious, honestly. Also, as a side note, I recently got into descriptive video for the first time about a few weeks ago, and I don't know how I've lived so long without it because I low-key love it. So, say I'm out with a group of friends, we're all hanging out, and one friend casually says, "Oh, you guys have to see this picture I took on my phone." And the person then holds his or her phone up to show everyone. Of course, course, it's a cute picture of a dog. Everyone giggles and smiles because who doesn't love a picture of a dog, right? No surprise there. But if I want to see the picture, I have to either get up, walk to the person while they awkwardly hold their hand up like this, possibly climb over people and other objects just to see this picture of a dog. Or they have to pass their phone to me. Some people don't like to pass their phone around casually. I get that. Sometimes I don't feel like crawling over people or things just to see a picture of a dog. Okay. Are you beginning to see some of the struggle? I'll keep going. We're at the zoo now. And I enjoy the zoo despite its inherent unfriendliness to people who are blind or visually impaired. My friend's looking up toward a tree and sees a beautiful brightly colored bird perched on a branch. The bird then flies off of that branch and onto another one out of sight. And my friend looks at me excitedly and she says, "Oh, did you see that? Did you see that bird? It was so pretty." And I'm there. Of course I didn't see the bird. But do I say, "Yeah, I saw the bird, it was so beautiful"? Or do I tell her the truth that no, I missed that one? I want you to keep in mind that in these type of environments, I miss things all the time, especially quick moments like that where something is here and then suddenly it moves over to another spot and everyone else saw it, but I did not. So at what point does it become useless for me to keep saying, "Oh, no, I missed that one too"? And at what point does it become annoying? Because even if you're an empathetic, kind, caring person, you're eventually gonna get annoyed at the friend of yours when you keep excitedly asking if I've seen this or if I've seen that, and I keep saying, "No, sorry, I missed it." And I'm gonna get a little bummed out too, because nobody likes answering in a negative all the time. It gets tiring. Maybe I need a personal narrator. Someone to audio describe my life. Does anyone want that job? Doesn't pay very much. Better yet, does anyone also want a life narrator? On to the next example. Are you getting tired of me yet? Because if you are, you're starting to see just a little bit of how exhausting it can be to be legally blind or blind. It's exhausting. Pretending is exhausting, and trying not to feel like a burden is also exhausting. So sometimes I pretend I can see. And now you know why. But I don't always pretend I can see. Those closest to me have a general idea of what I can see and what I may not be able to see. So, they'll do little things like read the subtitles or pass their phone my way so I can see things, or hold it up long enough for me to get close enough to see it. It's those little things that really do make a surprising difference. And usually I do have my binoculars, so I can see things in the distance. But moving objects are still very challenging to see. So things like spotting shops as we pass by in the car, I'll never be able to do. I'll never be able to drive, and I'll never pretend I could drive. This is also why I do not comment on people's driving abilities, at least not to their faces. But I digress. Because my life can sometimes be so exhausting, I pretend I can see to make that life easier and to make those around me feel less bothered. And I know that sounds like a cop-out, but you really wouldn't know unless you've been in my shoes, or unless you're someone like me who deals with very similar situations. Before we end this, I do want to say thank you to those few people who are very close to me who do all the little things that make my life happier, more enjoyable, and make me feel more normal without me having asked. You read subtitles, you point out something in the distance and then you describe it. You point out the curb that I will inevitably miss and twist my ankle. You will also tell me when people are staring. And you tell me about that funny thing some random stranger did that made you chuckle, because all those little things make me feel included. You never make me feel like a burden. because honestly, I do that enough on my own. So thank you. Like, share, and subscribe if you found this video entertaining or informative. Thank you for being here. Stay curious, and until next time, bye.